Dude, what are you doing?
What you're going to hear about today is nothing short of a miracle.
Yo, what's cracking, folks? Jeremy Vassar here with Practical Painting, and in this video we're going to show you how to properly dispose of old paint. I am joined today by my brother Joshua Nelson Vassar, and he is our resident paint disposal expert. As you saw in the beginning of the video, what not to do is just pour your old paint into a trash can, so don't do that. That's not going to be a good time, and I'm pretty sure it's illegal. It's something we run into all the time, whereas, you know, we paint a lot, so we end up with a lot of old cans, partially full cans. It happens to a lot of homeowners as well. If you've been in a home for a long time, you might end up with partially full cans of varying degrees in your basement or your garage or whatever. And a lot of people ask us, how do I get rid of this stuff and do it in the proper way where you're not going to get in trouble? So that is kind of the state of things, and we have 3 different cans here. We're going to show you guys how to get rid of this. So Josh, we just kind of mentioned earlier, what you don't want to do is trash old cans that are full, or maybe you didn't use it or anything like that. So we've got some wet paint in here. We have about ½ gallon in each of these different products, and these are all latex based products, by the way. What do we need to do to these cans, Josh?
We need to make sure they are not, there's no wet paint, and you just do that by getting an agent such as kitty litter. It's the cheapest way, and you do a 50-50 mix until it hardens. So that is what we need to do, so you can just throw it all away. And the supplies you need are kitty litter, your wet paint, some type of wood or stick, and a container to put it in if you can't do it in the actual can.
Yep, and then we're also going to be using, when we're done, we're going to put these cans in a contractor's bag. That's just a nice little layer to put over this as well. These are going to be fairly heavy, so you don't want to overload the contractor's bag, but it's just a nice step to add at the end. And as I mentioned before, these are all latex-based products, so the fumes off of them aren't going to be too bad. But if you're using any oil-based products, say you got some old polyurethane or some deck stain or something, I would recommend grabbing a decent respirator. That way you're just not getting smoked out with all those delicious fumes. Most of the time you would do this in like your garage, maybe your basement, or if you can, do it outside. Set up some drop cloths and just kind of do this process outside. That way it'll all kind of off gas out in the open and won't kill too many of your brain cells. So, but that's pretty much what we need, and we're going to go ahead and start the process. I think we've got, it's Halloween, folks, so we've got some green paint, some orange paint, and I think some blue paint. So Josh and I are going to go ahead and crack these open. Oh yeah. All right, Joshua.
All right, we're going to pour the blue so it's nice and empty. And you know what? We'll pour the green as well. All right, it's about half full. That's all you want to do. Then we'll take the kitty litter, cut it, and hope and pray don't spill it everywhere. It's 40 pounds, but luckily I'm like super duper strong. We just pour it in. So it's about halfway. You can kind of gradually pour and mix.
Yeah.
Alright, so we take this large piece of wood or stick, which I got at Home Depot for free. All you have to do is go in there and say, hey sir, might I have that large stick? And they give you large stick. And then you're just mixing it around.
All right, so you're going to keep doing this process for...
You need all the paint to be mixed in with this.
So you want to like evenly distribute the kitty litter. Okay. All right, so Josh is going to mix that up now. We've got some other orange paint here that is Regal Select. Jack-o'-lantern is the color. It's appropriate for today. This is about ½ gallon. Josh, is this too much?
A little much.
Can I pour some of that in there, or should I split it between these gallons? Yeah, I mean,
yeah, you can put a little bit in one of those and do it. You can split it up.
Do that. So yeah, you can.
There you go.
Nice.
Do you want me to stir that one in there?
No, you just keep doing what
All right, we're good.
That's all good?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right, so... So we're going to fill up this can.
You only need 50-50. You don't need to go the whole way.
All right, you want to swap that out? Thanks, buddy. Okay. All right, can I have a stick, please?
Here's a stick.
Stir stick. All right, so we're just gonna get this going here.
You can also mix it in gradually, but if you just want to get crazy, do the whole thing.
Oh yeah, so you're pretty much eyeballing 50%.
Yeah, it's not exact science.
And then stirring it up. So you're stirring this the same way you would kind of mixing up paint in the first place. It's just kind of scraping it up from the bottom and trying to not like that, but you're trying to like as I did the same thing here. All right, you just want to incorporate the kitty litter thoroughly into the wet paint so that it has a chance to harden and soak up all the moisture.
You can go clockwise. If you're in Australia, you go counterclockwise.
Is that how that works?
Yeah,
I know it's opposite.
It's equator stuff.
Science.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got this stuff is fairly well incorporated now. All right, so that's going to do it for now. We're going to let this paint sit for about 24 hours, and then I'm going to come back and check on it, and if it's good to go, I will show you guys what it looks like when it's all dry, and we'll throw it in some black contractor's bags and then huck it in the trash. So until then, peace. Alrighty, so it's been 24 hours and the kitty litter has worked its magic. All this paint is dry and good to be disposed of. As you can see, it is very dry to the touch. We're not going to have any issues with it leaking in our trash can or anything like that, so that is a good thing. Just to recap this process, figure out how much paint you need to get rid of, get the required amount of kitty litter. I recommend getting it from Home Depot, Lowe's, Costco, Walmart, any places like that. I've also gotten some bags from Amazon when the price has been right. I will link to the stuff I normally get in the description below. And then you just need to make sure you've got big enough containers where you can do a 50-50 split between the wet paint and the kitty litter and have room to stir it and incorporate it evenly throughout. My preferred method is to use the actual gallon containers that the paint is in, and you can kind of like mix it around and make sure you've got an even ratio. If you have a lot of paint, then I would recommend getting something like this. It's just a 2-gallon bucket insert, and we get these from Home Depot because for some reason they're super expensive on Amazon, but it should only cost you a few shekels at Home Depot for like a stack of 5, and that way you can end up with a big old bucket like this full of nicely dried paint and kitty litter. So that is pretty much the process. One other thing I would mention, if you're doing this to a lot of gallons, like I have probably another 15 gallons to go once I'm done with this video, I wouldn't recommend throwing away all of that at once because it's going to make your trash can way too heavy for your waste management company. Unless you have access to a dumpster, then you go nuts, but I usually throw away between like 3 and 4 gallons at a time, and that way it's just a nice gradual process and you kind of can just space it out over a couple of weeks. So that's pretty much it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Consider hitting that like and subscribe button if that's something that you're into. And until next time, y'all take it easy, work smart, and have a good one. Peace.
Fruits of my labor, what I have I built with my own hands.
Amazing.